Sorry I'm late. I had no chat up. Yuck. Let's see if this ish works. Hello. Why can't I see the chat? It's crazy. Okay. Good morning. This is Justice's Waiting Room. It's a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. Yo, I'm a little late this morning. I'm mad. I woke up mad today. Fuck Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. The thing I'm hot about this morning is obviously Chuck Schumer said yesterday he's not going to vote no, shut down the government. He's going to vote to pass um, their budget. And I just wanted to make this point, this note, okay, as we get rolling here. What happened with the NATO guy? We're gonna save that one, all right? It's falling in a little bit of the conspiracy land territory. So, late in the Biden administration, Kristen Sinema and Chuck Schumer voted against a bill. I want to say it was a union bill. And I thought, how unlike a Democrat. And then the Democrats went fucking silent after the election. And I thought that their silence was fucking odd. And then I found out Hakeem Jeffries went on a fucking book tour. A book signing tour. And went and crawled in bed with Bezos. And you know, we've known AOC, Bernie, Jasmine Crockett, they got our back. They'll speak out. AOC last night said a lot of people are going to see what Chuck Schumer did yesterday as a betrayal. And I fucking agree. I'm mad. I'm so mad I'm not wearing a hat. You know how I do. I haven't had a hat on and made my morning video and didn't even upload it. And I looked down, it was after 8 o'clock. And I was like, son of a bitch, I'm late because I was so fucking mad at Chuck Schumer. Primary his ass, get him out of politics. There was also a 77-year-old elected official that died in their fucking chair yesterday, and it wasn't Chuck Schumer. So, and also, on the same tip, I saw a graphic where Nancy Pelosi has made a 65.1% return on her investment as an elected official, and during that time frame, she's beating fucking Warren Buffett by 30%. Like, hey, stock trading and insider trading needs to be made fucking illegal yesterday. You should not be using a political office to get rich. And for all of you that are fucking Trump voters that sit in my fucking comment sections, you're awful fucking quiet this morning while I'm ripping fucking Democrats a new asshole. I notice you don't mind when the left attacks itself. Right? Just know, as I've said this whole time, Democrats are the smart people with college degrees that will not be impacted by this administration's decisions. They have good jobs. They're homeowners. Okay? The people that are going to be impacted by this administration the most are the people that voted for this. The people who lined up, who said, hell yeah, Trump, his first administration was great. I can't wait to do that shit again. And here's the fucking difference. The first time Donald Trump got elected, people didn't know he was a fascist. You could see the stock market improve his entire fucking administration. This time around, we know that's not the fucking game plan. The masses, the people are not fucking around. Look at Tesla. That shit's over with. Understand, and it's not that I didn't know this. It's that I didn't recall this. Elon Musk leveraged Tesla stock to buy Twitter. So if Tesla crashes, I don't think he's got the money to keep control of Twitter. So yeah, I woke up fucking pissed. Where I'm like, Chuck Schumer, the fuck why? And also Nancy Pelosi, what the fuck? Like, yo, she's doing better than Warren Buffett? Like, that should stick out to people. That should be like, oh my God. You're an elected official. You're not supposed to be out investing investors. And the only way you're doing that is because you've got a boatload of inside information. Now, as far as Chuck Schumer goes, I have not been a fan for a while. That man has voted against the American people over and over and over again when it's come down in the past. When he's had an opportunity to, he has not voted at like a Democrat. Let's say it like that. He has voted opposition. For him to throw his weight behind this budget tells me he's being paid off. He's being paid off. Why else would you approve a budget resolution as an elected official without a negotiation from both sides? Why would you just blindly say, yeah, that seems good? And when he talked about it, he said, oh, what's in the budget isn't great for the American people, but a 30-day shutdown would be worse. And it's like, how? How? So again, I've felt like this whole time the Democratic Party's in fucking shambles. They have no leadership. There's no cohesion in that unit. They are... Cohesion. Oh. Cohesion. 2-week-long day. How did my interview go? Oh, are you talking about to be a head football coach? I think that this is about the best version of myself I could have possibly put forward I try to think about all the questions I got asked and what my answers were. And let's talk about like the least important question in my answer. Okay. The least important question that you'll ever get asked as a potential head coach is what's your scheme? That shit doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. If I come in and I run a 4-4 and run the power I and I don't have the linemen for that and I can't teach their non-lineman players to tackle in space, my offense and defensive scheme are going to be piss poor with my personnel. So I told him that I would be, I think, foolish to come in scheme in hand. This is what I want to run because I don't know your people. I don't know the players. I need to get to know them and I need to know what they're capable of so that I can have an expectation and that I can present to them, this is what's in your best interest. And at the end of the interview, for the record, he said, I actually thought that was a really good answer. We're lineman light. We don't have a lot of big boys. And I said, you got big boys in the school? And he said, yeah, there's some big boys in the school that ain't playing. And I said, well, we need them too. Okay. But ultimately, you have to build your program around your people. And so when I was asked, when I could have absolutely said, oh, I run, a 4-3 cover 2 and we run the spread. Without, again, I think that you don't get the job if you come in there and you don't have the right scheme for their program. And in all of my training to be a coach, they talked about how like your scheme doesn't matter. What matters is your people and your ability to help them become better athletes and football and people and football players. And after the interview, I sent him an email, because I sent a follow up. Thank you for your time. Thank you for choosing to interview me. Now that I know that you're lineman light, we probably need to be either running a 3-4 or a 3-3 stack. And then offensively, we need to run probably spread air raid, run and gun, because we have to keep our linemen fresh because we don't have very many of them. And like I said, if I would have known that going into the meeting, it would have been a lot easier to have a plan. But I don't think that's a relevant question. And the only reason I say it's not relevant is because it'd be different if they have 100 kids. It doesn't matter. Run your scheme. But when you've got 20 players and every program's got 20 players, noon. There's a Veterans March today at noon. Okay. Yeah. Let it be known this Friday, March 14th, 2025, if AOC primaries Chuck Schumer, she's going to win. So I'm for it. I'm again, not very happy with the Democratic Party right now, particularly with Chuck Schumer. And again, there's a reason that I keep saying you got to get these old fucks out of politics because they're all friends. They're all homies. They're going to look after each other. And even... What? Who said I'm happy with Trump? Who said I'm happy with Trump? I said I'm not happy with Chuck Schumer, who's going to vote yes and be like, yeah, this budget's good, without reading it and negotiating it, and it has like a ton of tax cuts for billionaires. The fuck are you doing? Like, it's just acquiescing. Like, how the fuck you vote yes on that? You know what I mean? Yeah, so, and think about this. It's not like I'm wrong. They're already planning on 9 a.m. this morning, 3rd Avenue, New York City. They're going to protest Chuck Schumer. They're going to tell him, fight back or step down. And I'm on that tip too. 100%. Here's the thing that goes with it. Right? Sorry about that. With Chuck Schumer voting for this budget, um, Democrats approved the cabinet picks of Donald Trump this term and didn't fight against that at all. And yes, yes, we want the shutdown. We want a negotiated resolution. We do not want a budget that it was just rammed into place. Okay? I I I don't want all of our tax dollars going to billionaires. Yep. I know that that's crazy. I know that that's crazy. But I would think about this. There's no amount of money that could get me to turn my back on my constituents if I'm an elected official. I work for too many people that I have to look out for. It's like managing a flock, right? Um, and there isn't a company, not even Nike. And I love Nike. I've always been a Nike kid, right? Nike, we'll give you $1 billion. You just make sure you don't fuck with Chinese manufacturing agreements, right? But if that comes at the cost of people, if that harms my constituents, I'm not taking the money. And there's way too many people that got into politics, that got the trust of their constituents, that got elected. And as soon as they got in there, they shut that door behind them, took off the fucking outfit, and now they're. Sorry about that. So yeah, I I'm mad for a myriad of reasons, but one is I can't stand weakness in leadership. And I perceive the Democrats as weak because they voted this cabinet in and did not act as opposition, and they are not acting as an opposition party because they're in danger. Good morning. And it's like you signed up for this voluntarily. None of those people are indentured. They're not required to serve. You aren't required to stay in politics. If you cannot govern and you do not have the best interest of your constituents, you need to get the fuck out of politics, or it's going to happen for you. And it's an ugly thing. Like I said, Kristen Sinema, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. These are the people that I'm just like, hey, these people all got to go. Cinema's effectively gone, right? But Chuck Schumer here needs to step the fuck down. Um, Again, I saw a graphic this morning that Nancy Pelosi has made a 65.1% return on her investment as an investor, and that is about 30% more return on an investment than Warren fucking Buffett, and that is an issue. That is an issue. We need obviously there is a power struggle in the Democratic Party where the people that people like don't take money from PACs. Yeah, what investment, right? Understand there's no such thing as an ethical investor. You are still making money off of someone else's labor. So it literally doesn't matter. I'm just telling you, it does not matter who you invest in. You are investing in a company that has employees, that has entry level employees whose job it is to create wealth for the other people in that company, particularly the ownership group. That's literally, this is the thing about it is, it's like people, people can't separate So, where was I? Yeah. I mean, I think that investing is poor. When you look at what's going on right now, when there's not smart people in office, it's completely destroying the stock market. All the prosperity that the Biden administration brought upon the United States squandered. And it's not like that money's leaving the US. You know what I mean? Yeah, do not obey in advance, you know? We need somebody to take on on tyranny and drop it off at Chuck Schumer's office this morning. Want to reiterate? Here is here's the calendar of events. So remember, we are amidst a 40-day Target ban or Target boycott. So for those of you that shop at Target, no mas, you got about a month left of that shit. Good luck. Today is the last day of the week-long Amazon boycott. So I don't know about anybody else, um, but we haven't been buying shit off Amazon all week. Okay, now today is the Veterans March. So your state capital or wherever they choose to organize or whenever they choose to organize. And also there's a big Veterans March in Washington, D.C. So I, of course, Semper Fi, all that happy shit. I just want everyone to be safe and know that when movements turn violent, they lose. And so I just want to point out one of the things that I've always found kind of amusing about veterans. Typically it's the ones that were nowhere near the front line that are calling for violence. That are not leaders, they're calling for violence. Me, as somebody that was in the infantry, you just don't want to get too many of these people worked up. And we just want this to be a peaceful protest. We just want there to be a lot of fucking people. You know, it's a lot of veterans in the United States, a lot of veteran families in the United States, a lot of veterans that are on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and veterans benefits. So know that, thanks, Kelly. I appreciate you going for me today. Knowing that if you're going to protest today, just like every other protest, you are not protesting for yourself. You are protesting for the people that can't go, that can't be there, that are disabled, that are bedridden, that rely on these programs that you'll never see, that you've long since forgotten about. There are an awful lot of veterans that are on the at the end of their lives. A lot of veterans that won't make it through the weekend. And so if you're going out and you're going to protest today, that's who you're protesting for. The people that cannot, would not, did not. And again, I want to make sure I'm saying, like, at no point of all of this did I call for violence. And I've said, let me be your barometer, all that shit. Um, because when there's violence, you give Donald Trump a reason to do what he's said he's going to do. Um, and he's said he's going to declare martial law. And again, I want to say it's Marshall, Martial, Marshall, and not Marshall, Marshall, like the U.S. Marshals. Or more specifically, I always think of Marshall from How I Met Your Mother, because that's what my wife and I watch. Okay? So, of course, I appreciate you all being here. So, get this shit straight. Who owns. Okay, class. Who owns. Who owns Greenland? Denmark, right? Denmark. Okay? Okay. So the United States is asking Denmark after Donald Trump said, fuck you, I'm gonna take over Greenland. Now we're asking Denmark for help with the price of our eggs. Do you see how it's probably a good thing to have a positive foreign policy where you aren't trying to be enemies with our allies? Because my question is, do you think Denmark gives a fuck? Do you think Denmark's gonna help us lower our egg prices? I'm not asking that question because I don't know the answer. So this is why voting is important. This is why foreign policy is like super fucking important. You gotta see people as allies first. You gotta see people as allies. Because when you make everybody into enemies, you ain't got no fucking friends. God. You want to know why the United States has to like have its shit together? I'll show you why. Okay? This is why. Shut the fuck up. Here's South Korea. No, 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 no. Y'all are talking about gas. How about Donald Trump in office has South Korea considering nukes? Great job, everybody. Let's put one of our allies under the microscope while they develop their own nuclear weapons because we aren't a reliable partner anymore. Right next door to North Korea. Who, by the way, North Korea is providing like half of the ammo to Russia. So y'all just think North Korea next door is like, sure, build nukes. Seems like a great idea. Oh, this is interesting though. This is interesting. So one of Trump's buddies, Viktor Orban, Hungary. Russia is not our ally. Just so you understand that, Carol. They are absolutely not our ally. And as a veteran, that fucking hurts my feelings that a white appearing person thinks Russia's our ally. They are absolutely not our ally. Russia put bounties on American soldiers and paid $250,000 a mission to the Afghanistan people to hunt Americans. They are not our ally at all. There's nothing ally about that. But yeah, Hungary drops its veto and agreed to prolong EU sanctions on Russia. I think that's significant. Hungary has agreed to drop its veto and allow the renewal of the renewal of sanctions from the European Union. Interesting. So, see, this is what happens when you're friends with dictators. They're not friends. They're not your allies. Um, I hate to just be like that. There are world leaders here that aren't our allies. They're not. They don't have our best interests. They're not on our team. Here's another thing that hurts the military industrial complex. Portugal drops plans for the F-35, citing U.S. political uncertainty. Yeah. Yep. You cannot run a country or run the world like you run a business. Just for those plodding along here. And yeah, one of the conversations coming out of Donald Trump's meeting this past week with Mark Root was Mark Root's comment that Donald Trump should come visit The Hague this summer. And I just want you to know that I agree. I really think Donald Trump should visit Mark Root at The Hague. I think that is fantastic. I bet he's never been. You know what I mean? Been around the world and I wound up in The Hague on a visit. But yeah, Mark Root invited Donald Trump to visit The Hague, and I this summer, and I think that's a fantastic idea. hmm In fact, I think that's a great fucking sign. DJT should totally take a vacation to The Hague. Take a vacation, Don. You've done so much. The Hague, Hague. If you don't know what that is, it's in the Netherlands. It's the home of the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice. Visit the what? Visit the who? Musk and Trump are allied with Russia. Yes, they are. There you go. Yeah, told the military to plan to invade the Panama Canal. Does do you think Donald Trump knows that the Panama is not a fucking country itself? It doesn't have a military, and that there would be nothing to invade? Like, little odd there. Uh, Australia has other buyers for their critical minerals. They're gonna take their minerals elsewhere. I assume you're from Indiana. Yeah, I live in Indianapolis. hmm What's a random question? It's TikTok, so lower your expectations. Come on, Vanessa, the suspense is killing me. Or was that the random question? I do have 3 Indiana teams on the flag behind my head. Not a dead giveaway at all. I guess I could just be a fan of Indiana college and professional sports too. Are more people saying that Trump is a liar? You got to understand, I work from home. Fuck this state. I don't, my family lives here. I don't talk to them. I've lost almost all my friends over this because they're fucking idiot Trumpers. But what's hilarious is that all of those people that I was like, oh, I have no need to communicate with any of them anymore, they've all contacted me since, talking about how bad their lives are. Isn't that fucking hilarious? I decided your decision to vote for Donald Trump was the breaking point for our relationship. And ultimately, what I've realized is that that was the totally right thing to do. Okay? Yeah. Um, you are getting what you voted for. Exactly what you voted for. And for me, I sleep like a fucking baby. I voted for Bernie Sanders, right? I've voted Democrat for the last 20 fucking years, right? Very, for the record, very little corruption over that 20 years spread. Good to go. That said though, I mean, I came on here on fire this morning, really pissed at fucking Democrats, particularly Chuck Schumer, um, and Nancy Pelosi, right? But up there with them old fucks is this 77-year-old congressman that died in his fucking chair yesterday. We've got to get geriats out of politics. If you're over 65, you're not meant to be a leader. You're meant to be a retiree. And people can call me ageist all you fucking want. But what happens when you get older is you develop things like dementia. And you forget whose side you're on and that you already made that decision and you backtrack and shit. I think Donald Trump is 78 years old. Hmm. A little over the hill. Um, so yeah, I'll say it. I want younger people in office. There should be term limits, 100%. You should not be able to have a career in politics. That should not be allowed. Election reform, term limits, yep. So much work to be done. Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people are gonna say, Jared, that's ageist. You've got to let anybody that's legally allowed to run otherwise run. And it's like, yeah, sure, man. Sure, they can run all they want. Run all they want. I would never vote for someone that I'm gonna have to help to the bathroom. I'm not voting for someone that's wearing a diaper. Mhm. I would guide Barack Obama to the bathroom. You know what I mean? I'm guessing he'll never have to do that. Okay. Adam Mockler and Social Society, never heard of it. One of the things you got to understand, y'all call them content creators, content creators. But I've been a journalist reporting like either sports, news, or politics for the last decade. For the last 10 fucking years, I've been talking either about sports, news, or politics on a live show. Okay. And one of the things that happens when you put down your phone, stop doom scrolling, and start talking is you stop watching everybody's shit. You don't watch anyone's shit. I'm not doom scrolling shit. I might get a few minutes a day on TikTok. Yesterday was really slow at work, for the record, so I was on my fucking phone. We were dead. Okay, and so it's not that I don't like anybody. It's not that I see myself as self-important. I voted for Harris. Yeah. Yeah, and I saw somebody asked about the bruising on Donald Trump's hands, or hand, and I've seen a lot of people say, I saw that on my grandma a couple days before they die. They don't know who that is. But one of the things I'm definitely not doing is I'm definitely not letting someone on my live that I don't already know. So it's kind of one of those situations I'm in where, like, I would love to have a guest, but I'm not going to guess as to that person's politics before they're on my show, where I share my audience. And you got to figure they got a bigger audience than I do. But then again, I'm not here for numbers. That's not what I'm trying to do. I don't sit around and look at my TikToks and go, "Oh, I'm hitting," or "I'm not hitting." It does not. I don't storyboard my content. I'm not using SEO. Like, I'm not doing all that shit. I look at the news. That news drives me to make a video. Good to go. And I get on here and we talk about the news. I ain't making shit up. I'm looking at the actual news that's coming out, right? Things that are actually happening. Okay. The reason I was commenting about the bruising on Donald Trump's hand, because CC brought it up, but a bunch of people have shown me pictures of their grandparents and said, "See that bruise on their hand? They died like days later." So I'm just saying it out loud. Like, there's a lot of people that feel the same way, that know that information and aren't saying it out loud like it's a fucking hex or something. But real talk. There's about 55 people in here today. In my marching today, I'm going to the Veterans March downtown. I went and drove my car around this morning just to make sure she's good. I'm gonna go downtown, find a parking spot, try to get there a little early, try to observe. Because one of the things I'm cognizant of is the way police are going to step up their enforcement when they expect a large protest. Yeah, I work full time during the week. The odds of me getting to a town hall meeting are low. Um, and I'm also interviewing for a job out of town, and I haven't heard anything back yet. Apparently, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock voted no. You know what's hilarious? I think it's hilarious anyway. What did Don Bacon vote? I don't know. So keep in mind the thing that I found out. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything yet. If you support your veterans, are a veteran, looking for a veteran sort of group or like subreddit to be a part of. Fetterman had a literal stroke. He's being taken advantage of. Yeah, I just feel really bad for the people of Pennsylvania that voted him into office that thought he had their back. And I've tried to say like they're all friends. All these people they go to the same bars. They live in the same neighborhoods. They might not like each other right now. They might not like each other right now, but they've been friends for years. And there are people on both sides of the aisle whose entire lives are wrapped up in politics, whose entire careers in politics. And they've failed you over and over and over again. And now they're trying to tell you that we should just go along with what Trump wants to do. Keep this in mind. In my opinion, they should have been the opposition party from the jump, and they should have um, made Donald Trump get in his bag and get a second cabinet pick for each of the cabinet positions. He should have had to do that because the Democrats should have kept each of his cabinet picks out of that job. And again, I want to point out if quit insulting hillbillies. Yeah, right. Somebody said Donald Trump turned the White House lawn into a used car lot. He's a hillbilly. And then somebody said quit insulting hillbillies. It's weird. America wants to annex Canada. And it's, yeah, that's not going to happen. He's not going to. Yeah, I was like, too tough, too bad. Hillbillies voted en masse for Donald Trump. So, also on the same flip of the coin, it's like, nah, I'm not really a hillbilly apologist. Also, JD Vance can't go anywhere without getting fucking booed. And I think that's amazing. Yeah, Obama didn't do shit for his own people. Razor, let me ask you a really good question. Where the fuck did Obama come from? You fucking cretin. Like, where in this conversation, where is like Obama the name drop? Dead ass. That was like the only thing you could have possibly fucking contributed to this conversation? I'm just guessing. Because, I mean, racist. We could start off with that, white boy. First thing you did was drop. That was the first comment I'd ever seen from you. Come on. Come on. Tippy type. I know you had some real interesting comeback. Racist. No? Okay. Exactly. So, yeah, Obama didn't do shit for his own people. What the fuck are we talking? Okay. What? That dude was in office for 8 years. What are you talking about? ACA, sir. ACA. That's just one. See? Don't got nothing to say. Block. It's just the most random shit. Obama didn't do shit for his people. What the fuck are you talking about? Doesn't make any sense. Yo, what? Some of the material getting ghosted out of the Arlington website are for Medal of Honor recipients. The Nazis have come and they're defiling the unpublished links to material about Black, Hispanic, and women veterans. All right. But I want to make sure we tell people don't threaten or be violent. Don't do that shit. When your movement goes violent, it fails. This movement, this movement of boycott, strike, and protest is working. It just and it's working to a great deal. A great deal. These billionaires that have bought this election have lost their asshole in the last week or two. It's amazing. I'm talking like we're over like $250 billion lost by them. By them. Not you. You didn't lose that. You aren't invested in the fucking stock market. Yeah, your 401k probably took a little hit, honey. They're losing per millisecond what you've lost in your 401k. Okay? And I wanna make sure that I say, "Aw, why do we get removed? Harassment and bullying? Who do we harass and bully? How are we harassing and bullying people, telling people not to be violent? I hate this. What planet am I on? That's stupid. I'm literally telling people not to be violent. How crappy. That is insanity. That's insanity. How was I being violent? I'm telling people not to be violent? What happened? I don't know. I don't know, man. I was literally saying, like, your movement fails when it becomes violent. How is that? I don't understand. Tesla lost $342 billion as of yesterday. Mm, mm. I don't know. I don't know about you, but these are our wins, right? I'm sorry to let everyone down by getting banned. Yeah, and I'm sorry it was a little. Just read it. 342 billion. Shoo. I have to sneeze. Sorry about that. But yeah, I was gonna say this on fucking TikTok too, but I want to just point out all the people calling that have been calling for violence. So I can think of two TikTok creators. One who I won't name, and the other one's Cliff Cash. He's a comedian. They've spoken extensively about being violent towards this regime I just want to make sure that I point out nothing has happened. They've talked a lot of shit and they have not done shit. Like I said, one of them we'll talk about, one of them will actually say their name. But they were the ones saying like Donald Trump will never get into office, Cliff Cash, me and all my veteran buddies, we're gonna stop the didn't stop a goddamn thing. Just want to point that out. All the people threatening fucking violence sat on their ass in their house and tried to get other people to do their bidding and go be violent. And I just want to point out, dude, we be getting our ass kicked on TikTok getting I know for a fact when I post the video and I have 16,000 followers, 16,000 followers, and it doesn't even get 1,000 views, they're keeping my own followers from seeing my content. And I don't even care about likes and comments and shares. I don't ever ask for that shit. It's not why I'm here. I'm not here to be a capitalist. That's never going to be this show. Okay? I'm telling you, they're all going bankrupt. How am I saying your movement fails when it gets violent and I get fucking... Yeah, it's just wild. Yeah, Charlie Kirk sat out, Donald Trump sat out, let all their minions do that shit. Because if you think that you can talk about and push violence upon people and it not come back to you, you're crazy. I figured for a while, I'm trying to think which of my videos really did me in. So I had one late and I kind of felt oh, I know what happened. Elon Musk happened. So I made that video about how Elon Musk hired Triple Canopy, and then had them deputized by the U.S. Marshals. And I was on active duty in the Marine Corps Infantry during a time of war, and during SEPs and TAPs, people like representatives from Triple Canopy came in to recruit us. And I just want to point this out. If you had an honorable discharge, they didn't want you. I'm going to say it again. While I was on active duty in the Marine Corps Infantry during a time of war in SEPs and TAPs, Triple Canopy came in to recruit us. And because I had an honorable discharge, they weren't interested. People that go and work for Triple Canopy, they aren't seasoned combatants. Typically, the people that join Triple Canopy are people that get separated from the military for some fuck shit that they did. So it's just like you don't have to have a college degree to become a police officer. You also didn't have to have like a good career in the military to be in Triple Canopy. In fact, they didn't even want you. Those people got deputized. If you've ever been around police officers and you hear in your brain you hear like you this is like a fucking circus, these fucking clown asses, because they don't have to have a college degree, bro. Sis. Same thing with these Triple Canopy motherfuckers that got deputized. Do you think they have 4-year degrees? You think that they're smart? You think they know anything other than abject violence? And they will. Crystal, they will. That's the one thing I've tried to do in my life. What? Yeah. We got banned for 24 hours. It's so telling. It's so telling. By the way, since we're sitting here, make sure you tell everybody where you're spending your mornings, that you like this, that you share this with somebody. Tell somebody that you care about that every day I watch a live podcast from a veteran, a Marine Corps veteran, from the infantry, somebody who has, as a result of being raised by a violent sailor, my old man, as a result of playing violent combat sports my whole life, as a result of working armed security for a decade before and after I was on active duty. I would tell you to lay down your arms. I would tell you to turn your swords into plowshares. I would tell you to grow a garden, plant trees. I've never even thought like that, Zeke. I don't think in that way. I don't think about who's the greatest country in the world. I don't think about that. Oh, Al, I'll tell you. In Boondock Saints, the only thing required for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And again, so many men in my life have absolutely no desire for education at all. They are not trying to be smarter. All they know is violence. And again, I just want to point out that there have been plenty of people that have called for violence on this regime. And they did not get out of their chair. They did not go to where they stand. And they did not get face to face with the people they threaten violence against because they're fucking cowards. And again, I want you to go watch the video I made yesterday where I said, look, I've been out of the Marine Corps 17 fucking years. I've met a lot of veterans. I've met a lot of veterans who say the reason that I signed up for the branch of service that I signed up for and the job that I signed up for was to avoid deployment, to avoid the front line, to avoid combat. Mostly white men, for the record. Cowards. And what happened to those people? What do you think happened to people that joined the military, took a job, and joined the branch of service specifically to avoid combat? What do you think happened while they were on active duty? That's exactly right. Exactly what they were trying to avoid, they got put into. And now they're all fucked up. Mm, mm. Thank you for your service. I'm so sorry to see that you're hurting. And then they say, you said you served. What branch were you in? The Marine Corps, infantry. Hmm. They're like, you signed up for that shit? Yes. And I would do it again in a fucking heartbeat. I don't want to live like you. I don't want to spend 1 minute of my life saying I went through all this horrible shit and I did everything I could do to avoid it. Nope. Nope. I knew the fight was coming to me anyway. And I can say it with my full chest. So imagine, and this isn't this job interview I just had, but imagine you've interviewed me for a job. And before you find out that I was in the Marine Corps infantry, you tell me that the entire reason that you took the job you took and the branch you joined was to avoid combat, to avoid the front line, to avoid being deployed. I thought I was just going to work as a MP, military police, here, stateside. How did that work out for you? It didn't. It didn't. So you wonder why I see so many shadow boxes. You know, you see like the real nice wood boxes and it has somebody's rank and insignia and all their medals and shit in it. And then the discussion about that veteran is they never talked about what they did. So I have no idea what these medals are. I don't know what they mean. I know his rank, but I don't know what he did. He didn't talk about it. I can empathize with that. I can empathize with coming home from service and never talking to anyone about it. You know why? You know why? Because the people that say that they care about you don't care about you. They didn't give a fuck. It wouldn't matter if I'd have fucking told them what I went through anyway. Nothing's going to happen. How do I know that? Because I got a big mouth. I've been talking about it since I came home, how fucked up it is that my battle buddy died while I was on active duty and they medically separated me against my will 6 months later. I've talked about how fucked up that is. How fucked up it is that his family came to me in 2018, over a decade after I had got out, and RJ had died, and told me that RJ was fucking murdered, and they know who did it. And I've screamed it from the fucking rooftops. My battle buddy was fucking murdered, and he got an other than honorable discharge. They said that he did this shit to himself, that it was suicide. He was fucking murdered. To crickets. To it mean absolutely nothing. So there's a reason why every job I've ever had, I've been best at that fucking job. Why I want to be a head football coach. Because when you win, you're a god. People will actually listen to you. They are obsessed with American football here. A winning football coach has more credibility than any politician. Nick Saban. That's my argument. Nick Saban has more credibility than any politician. That includes Obama. Because he's white. So a higher percentage of the electorate would trust him implicitly because he's white. It's just true. But these people can't go anywhere without getting fucking booed, and I'm fucking here for that. There's nothing I want more for the people that are hurting us for them to suffer too. I'm not talking about money when I say that. I don't give a fuck about your stock portfolio. I don't care about your 401k. Hey, I'll say this. I do not have my Series 6, okay? I am not an investment manager, okay? I'm not an FA, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you this. I pulled all my money out of not BlackRock. What's the other one? Anyway, I pulled all my money out. I had to spend it to stay alive, and when I reinvest my money, I'm going to be very picky about where I put that. My advice is credit unions. My advice, put your money in savings. With the cost of goods being inflated because of this administration, now is the time to save. Vanguard, thank you, Zeke. But I took all my money out of Vanguard too. You got to get all your money out of Vanguard and BlackRock. I don't care what the penalty is. You need to reinvest that money into credit unions and into their investment vehicles. You're right, Zeke. Okay. And again, I don't have my Series 6. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a person that can look and say, do you want your retirement money to continue to be used by BlackRock to force suffering upon you? And I'm saying you can just take all your money away from BlackRock, invest that through your credit union into somewhere else, it not be BlackRock's money or Vanguard's money that you're fucking invested in. And if you ever wondered who really is hurting us, it's not these corporations, BlackRock and Vanguard. It's the majority shareholders for the majority of these companies in the United States for the goods produced in this stock market are almost all majority managed by BlackRock and Vanguard. Asset management. Okay? So know that if you use a traditional funding vehicle for your investment, for your retirement, whether that's BlackRock or Vanguard, get your money out of there. Go put it, you're going to pay a penalty. Go put it somewhere else. Know that me telling you to remove your investment vehicle and move it elsewhere, that's a lot less violent than me making promises I don't intend to keep. And that's again one of the things that has burnt my ass in the last few months has been watching people call for violence upon this regime. And again, what I've said is Donald Trump and Elon Musk are not worth martyring. Those aren't people that you want for the rest of your life to think somebody sees him as a hero. They're a martyr now. It's almost like you want the drugs to take them. Because if they go that way, it's self-inflicted. Hey, there's no blood on anyone's hands. But I'm telling you, not only will your violent rhetoric ultimately make you look like a coward when you don't do shit, because that's not who you are. That's not who we are. Um, I've seen those same kinds of people that have been calling for violence on this regime flip and become sympathetic towards this regime. And I think that's one of the problems of not recognizing the time frame that we're in, is that there's way too many people that you've been treated poorly by this administration and their voters for so long that it's like you're trapped in prison with them, and now you start to sympathize with them. It's like we're all in Gen Pop together. We have to survive. It's Gen Pop. Like you're in prison. What the fuck are you talking about? We have to work with these people. So again, we're talking about this regime. You don't hear me talking about voting. I don't ever say like the way we get past this is through it and we need to vote. Because that's fucking stupid. We need to protest and boycott and strike our way into justice. We need, for example, we need Executive Order 13848. Where the fuck is that? Where are the results, each state's results of their investigation into the 2024 US elections? Where are all those other agencies? Where are any of those agency heads? Where are any of the people that worked on these investigations speaking out? Especially if you've been fucking wrongfully terminated? Where are you? Your loyalty as an American, as almost everyone in this country comes in contact with the citizen oath at some point. Whether you're an immigrant, whether you were born here, whether you served here, We all said we would defend this country against all threats, foreign and domestic. We all said that. Not just some of us. Oh, and I did a little research. Yeah, all fired. Where are your results? It's not, you mean to tell me they can take a USB stick and fuck our entire election system? He didn't fire them all, CC. He fired people at the FBI. He did not fire people at CISA, at DSIC, at the NSA. He did not fire those heads of agency. He may have fired illegally a bunch of FBI employees, but they all had to be hired back. He doesn't actually have that ability. I get there's people all there like, oh, he's firing everybody. He actually doesn't have the legal authority to do any of that shit. And almost all those fired employees have been hired back. Yeah. Mhm. But in order for a movement to succeed, it cannot be violent. It cannot be based on violent rhetoric. And so my advice would be, at no point should you mentally be like, well, nonviolence is out the window. It's time for the guillotine. And it's like, nope. Are you going to pull the handle? Are you also going to round up the people you're going to behead? Didn't think so. So maybe we should just avoid that, stick to gallows humor. You know what I mean? Yeah, as of last night, 2 federal judges ordered them all hired back. See? I tried to tell you. There's a reason I'm not coming on here freaking the fuck out. But what I am saying for certain is that those agencies are supposed to be apolitical. So those investigations are supposed to come out anyway. And now that you've fired and rehired and all this shit, there should not be any loyalty. There should not be a bunch of federal government employees that are like, oh, I just got fucked out of a job. Oh, they let me back on site. Oh, yeah, voting for Republicans is completely normal. Look at what they do when they get into power. This makes total sense. Oh, and my favorite thing that I've heard, that it's not my favorite thing, it's just something that I've heard. Uh, Donald Trump and Elon Musk are just running the government like you would a business. And I just want to point out that of all the people on planet Earth that I'm not sure are fit to run a company, much less a government, it's Donald Trump, whose every business venture has failed. And Elon Musk, who is about to go through some shit and is currently going through some shit. He's losing his ass. I just don't think those people were the people to run the government. I again shouldn't run a government like you do a company. You shouldn't run a government like a company from people that don't know how to run companies. I'm just making sure you all know. You all know this. Diversity is what makes us great. And also, this is a nation of immigrants. And oh, by the way, almost all the billionaires that helped buy this election are immigrants, are South African immigrants. They're just white appearing. And that lets you know how big of a problem racism is in the United States. If Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and I don't know, Jeff Bezos, if they were black or people of color, this would have never fucking happened in a million years. No, no. In fact, um, you know what's funny? I have a friend from college. Okay, he's the smartest person I've ever met in my adult life. Purdue grad, by the way. But he has a triple bachelor's degree. That's right. Mechanical, electrical, and chemical engineering from Purdue University. I used to go to his classes because I was fucking bored and he intrigued the shit out of me. I used to go to his classes and I was like, nah, hell no. What the fuck are you doing? This shit's impossible. And he was like, nah, this is my wheelhouse. He was like, oh, I don't give a fuck. What? I didn't understand a fucking word that dude said the whole time. Smartest person I've ever met called me and we talked about his finances. And that person, for the last 17 years that I've been out of the Marine Corps, with only an associate's degree to my name, has made less money than me most years because of the job that he took. Now, understand, he absolutely does not have to try hard. He does not have to try hard. Life is not difficult for him. But because of the position that he took, because of the job he took, that man's made repeatedly 10, 12 to $15,000 less almost every year. And that's not because he doesn't work as hard or that because he's not smart. It's because the degree program that he has, the degree he has, the role that he got, the job that he stayed in, I think he only got a 2% raise per annum. And it was guaranteed and it's close to home and he loves his job. He doesn't get paid very much. Smartest person I've ever met in my entire life. It's not actually close at all. At all. We're not talking about like there were other people in his classroom that I was like, oh yeah, they get it too. No, no. One of the things that I noticed in college is that when you find somebody really fucking smart, I try not to use them. I can't use him. He's my friend. But I watched a lot of his classmates try to fucking use him to the point where he started coming into my room to do his homework at my desk because he was being fucking bothered in his own home because of how fucking smart he was. So think about that story. I just told you about the smartest person I've ever met. Triple bachelor's in all of the engineering schools from Purdue. Smartest person I've ever met. It's not fucking close. The things I would require a calculator for, he can do with his brain. Probably faster than a calculator. And we've talked about his finances, and most years he's made less money than me. And then again, that's not me bragging. I'm not out here killing. And that's because you got to tell like the whole story, right? There's a story beyond what your education background is, your whole career, right? Now, keep in mind he is a systems protocol manager, which I'd never even fucking heard of, for the state of Hawaii. So his job is to keep their systems running, all of them. Water maintenance, um, you name it. Comm systems, air traffic controls, probably air traffic control system, probably the right, the electric lines, probably all that shit. State of Hawaii. I know you're all like, why the fuck did you spend a long time talking about that? Again, smartest person I know. Most of the time that we've been adults, I've out earned him, and it's not because his job's not important. It's not because it doesn't even pay him good. It's because I was always chasing a dollar bill. He was changing the world, or effectively keeping it together, holding it together. I try not to get too worked up when we get banned. So for all those people that are really disappointed with me, and they're like, "Damn man, I wish you wouldn't, keep getting banned on TikTok." Understand that I've even changed my rhetoric. I changed the way I talk, and even when I'm like, your movement loses when it goes violent. So I'm not gonna get worked up about that. That's not a fight you're gonna win, right? I'd rather you start and pick fights that you'll actually win. That doesn't mean to hedge your bet and only take up a fight you can win, right? But don't take up fights you won't win. And I'm not gonna beat the TikTok algorithm, right? That it wants people to use code words and shit. And that's one of my least favorite things is when people send me messages and they're like, all you have to do is change who you are completely and speak in fucking code. And maybe you won't get no. Nope. We had most of our show today. We got banned for 24 hours. We'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Want everybody to be safe. If you're going to go protest, be safe. Mask up. You know me, I'm going hat, glasses, mask. Good to go? I'm probably leaving my, well, probably just keep a fuck. Wish I had a press shirt. I would probably create a target. But yeah, go listen to Eat the Rich. Remember, we start on War, we finish on Eat the Rich. Always makes me giggle. You got the right key, baby, but the wrong keyhole. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Yeah, I also want to point out TikTok was actually okay until Facebook got involved, actually. I was doing we had 300 to 600 people at a time in my lives, and it had gotten to the point where we had gotten enough of the bots out, enough of the Trumpers out, that I was going like whole weeks without having any issue with having big audiences. And then fucking Meta got involved, and now when you look at the fine print, Facebook servers, which means their rules apply here. And if there's ever a website that you could get censored on real quick, it's fucking Facebook. Let's be honest. Like Facebook's super tough. Um, in terms of what they'll allow and what they won't. So I'm not at all surprised. Okay. Have a good weekend, everybody. Stay safe out there. We will see you all tomorrow.